this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Doings video. Now, I'm contemplating, do I want to continue the topic do I want to continue what I was discussing in the last video, or do I want to stop talking about it? No, I was considering discussing it for maybe Jaden's side of things, but I don't really know. I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily relate to, being possessed by my past life. Not exactly. Maybe no, we are not going there. No. Why do I want to bring up these topics? I should really stop bringing them up, but I just can't. Hold on a second. Now some of these topics that I bring up in these videos, I probably should be bringing up in separate videos outside of Doings, but I don't have the guts yet. So, well, we're waiting on me to develop the guts. I will just keep doing this boss over and over. At midnight, I'm going to start trying to take things off my bed. I'm sure the sun will rise before I'm done. But there is more cleaning that I want to do, if it can be done. Just because there's still some things on the floor, like it's not entirely spotless. And I think the floor is kind of stained in one location. And I think the floor's age is beginning to show itself. I don't really know how I feel, but yeah. Anyway, I'm hoping that I can get some more cleaning done. So hopefully I can finally start to properly clean everything, and then afterward I can have a proper room that isn't a mess. And then I don't feel as embarrassed turning on my webcam. Actually, I should probably wait until after Christmas to say that, because my webcam sucks. It's one of the worst ones alive. It's probably one of the ones that are. It's probably one of the last ones that suck that badly. Like, seriously, it's so pixelated, bad and awful. Like, even turning on I usually, the only lighting in my room is a lamp, because using the overhead light kind of drives me nuts. I don't like having that much light in my room because it kind of seems like overboard. It drives me nuts. So I only turn on the light for brief periods of time, like when I need it. And I mean, to be completely fair, if I did need to change a light bulb, I do not trust myself to do that. The overhead light in this room is connected to a chandelier, because this used to be a dining room, and I wouldn't be able to replace that, and I wouldn't be able to change a light bulb even if that was a normal light. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I could probably reach over there with this. I could probably reach over there with my body, but would it be safe to change a light bulb that way? I really do not think it would be, honestly. Like, I've been on my bed trying to stand up on it. No, there's no. I do not change a light bulb like that. That would be that would get me injured, potentially. I don't think that would go down well. I think it would be a disaster. I don't think I would come back from that without an injury. Maybe not even without a broken arm or a leg or so. I don't know what would happen to me, but trust me, I do not want to change the light bulb. I don't even want to change the light bulb anywhere else either. Well, I can change a lamp's light bulb, which is why I have a lamp as the lighting, because I can change that. I can change lighting there. Now, you guys may be wondering what my problem with changing a light bulb is. Well, how does a tourist change a light bulb? They don't like change. Okay, in all seriousness, I don't like heights, and apparently they're so bad. Apparently my fear of heights is so bad, I can't even reach up to change a light bulb. Yeah, I can't even do that. There are many things that I cannot do because of that fear. I cannot stand on a chair. I cannot use stairs. Yeah, that's right, I can't use stairs. And now, to be fair, I think if things were bad enough, I'd be able to... I think if things were bad enough, I'd be able to use the stairs, but I try to avoid situations where that could possibly happen. Because I don't want things like that to happen. I feel like that would be I feel like that would be suffering on more levels than I can handle. Yeah, it would be too much for me. But yeah, I have used stairs because I had to. But I do not use stairs the way that normal people do. Because I have a fear of stairs. And I believe that fear of stairs definitely is actually just a phobia of heights. And now, because it's so severe, that does mean that I'm limited in some way by it. It does affect my life because of that fear. But let's just be honest here. While that is a problem, it could be worse. It could be worse. And has been known to be worse, in fact. Like, my phobia of heights is nowhere near the most disabling thing that I experience. Like, sure, it sounds bad that I can't use stairs, but if you use a wheelchair, do you use stairs either? No, you probably use a ramp. You probably use a ramp because you're disabled, so you can't use stairs. But I don't know what my problem with stairs is, especially because in the past I was able to use them. But I do still think that it has something to do with my fear of heights, and it just developed into a phobia at some point. It's the only phobia that I have, and I don't really want that phobia, but it's there. And you know what the most hilarious thing is? My fear of heights developed later. Like, before I developed a concept of fear, I climbed onto the roof, and my parents were freaking out. And they asked why I was on the roof. And I told them. And the cat did it. Yes, I copied the cat. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like a very good decision on my part. I definitely would not be seen anywhere near the roof today, but, you know. I mean, I didn't have a concept of fear at that time, apparently. You know, I think I was afraid of some things back then. It just didn't occur to me that being on the roof wasn't quite safe for me. Now, growing up, I remember that I did not like pain. Like, seriously, I couldn't handle shots. I would cry. And when I still had some cognitive impairment going on, that messed with my memories. And I thought that something that I experienced as a child was worse than it was. And because of this, I later learned that I've formed a habit that isn't good because my memory was inaccurate. To put it simply, I thought that do I actually want to discuss this? Maybe this is too much. Well, let's just say that when I went to get my hair cut, I realized that my memory was bullshit and I messed up. I was like, oh dear God, I messed up. There's no coming back from this now. I'm an adult. I'm grown. I can't get out of this. It's like I need some kind of weird, I don't know, just some weird, I don't want to say that. I want to say something else. one of those weird anonymous groups where you recover from stuff. That's the best I can do, okay? There are multiple of them. I went to one once. It was a mental health variant, if I recall, but yeah. I wasn't quite a fan of it. I hated it, I think. I'm pretty sure I hated it, considering what it was like. I'm not sure if I remember very well, but, you know, sure. And, yeah, it was, I need one of those, except I don't think I would do very well, because once a habit has formed, it takes a lot to change it. It takes a lot. And I'm sure that if you recall that I hate pain, you may suspect that I'm sensitive to pain. And if you do, then you can probably imagine what it was like to have my hair washed by someone before they cut my hair. My scalp is sensitive. I know, but yeah. I mean, I definitely do not brush my hair like it's sensitive. Because I brush my hair like a mother that knows her child does not brush their hair. And yeah, I do have some issues with self-care because imagine that someone with depression has issues with self-care. Someone with anxiety has issues with self-care. Actually, I don't know. Do people with anxiety have issues with self-care? I don't know. I guess it depends on anxiety. In my case, I'm pretty sure that it comes from depression and years of not wanting. Anyway, I've got habits to break out of, so I don't want to say something when I'm trying to break habits. I'm not doing very well, but let's ignore that. I just cleaned my room, okay? I just cleaned my room. I think that I've got a long way to go when it comes to my other issues. Yeah. Okay. So, while I do have other issues, it's worth mentioning that I'm not even sure where my abandonment issues came from. Yeah, I don't know where they came from. They just started. They came out of nowhere, honestly. Like, you think that communicating with someone telepathically is disturbing. Well, honestly, a lot of people seem to think this because they respond to plurality negatively. They think that they probably judge on it because they aren't able to handle it themselves. Well, I get that, but there's something about plurality that is incredibly healing for me. And when I was all alone in my head, that's when I learned I've got abandonment issues, and I'm like, thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. I am never joking about that again. I cannot believe I actually have those. Yeah, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. I haven't actually watched all of the videos since, but I remember some of the earlier videos before, you know, a lot of shit got worse. I think that the humor has gotten a bit stale, but that might just be my imagination. And maybe that's just because the obsession has burnt out. I don't know. The obsession is burned out. Yeah, sure. Let's blame the obsession. Yeah, let's not blame me. Let's blame the obsession instead. Oh, and by the way, I have a machine, so just saying, I benefit from your field spell. That's not a field spell. That's a continuous spell. Dude, okay, my brain is not functioning right now. I mean, part of that is anyway. I used to joke about I used to make I used to make jokes in bad taste because I think that I mean, I wasn't always the best person. I mean, that kind of comes. That's kind of why I was comparing myself to you, Belle, because of that. But then I did get better. It's just the fact that I actually do have abandonment issues came out of nowhere. Like, dude, I've never been abandoned. Ever. Although, to be completely fair, I'm sure there are many causes of abandonment issues that do not necessarily have to involve actual abandonment. I've just heard of abandonment in the physical form, and I'm only familiar with abandonment issues when it comes to people that get put in orphanages. So the fact that I've got them myself, I was like, why? Why? Like, I can't explain this to my parents. I would be just as confused as they are. Like I even told my mom this, and I'm like, I don't know where they came from. I can't explain where they came from, and honestly, I didn't say a thing to my parents. And I don't remember ever having that problem as a child. So I'm just like, does this mean that I grew up and I didn't ever have the level of consciousness to say that I've got them? Really? I could say that I am traumatized at an age where it's disturbing to know that terminology. But I cannot say that I felt traumatized at any point. Exactly when was this problem developed? That kind of makes me think it was developed before I actually had the ability to think about it. And I mean, to be completely fair, I do have issues like that. I mean, there is an explanation in my past that would explain that. Yeah, it does make some sense that I would have abandonment issues, but it's still a bit weird when you think about it, considering that I still do not actually have a history of physical abandonment, as far as we know. But I do have a history of trauma, so it could have started then. But how the hell did I know about the trauma but not the abandonment? I don't know. I think it's more likely that it could have come from multiple different experiences adding up over time to feel like I just was never really taken into consideration. And now, if we're going to say anything, I'm just going to say this. The abandonment issues that I've got are most likely my fault. Like, I do not know for sure if I can actually blame my parents for this, because I think some amount of this is probably my own fault. Now, I do think there's another thing to take into consideration here, which is that things just happen, and issues just form. And I may not necessarily understand them, but that doesn't mean the problem doesn't have a legitimate reason for existing. Something clearly caused this issue to develop and form. And I suspect that by the time I was old enough to actually remember any kind of abandonment experience, that experience was no longer relevant because I was Pearl. That's what I think, because that's all I can think of. Like, I would have thought that I would have brought this up, but I became Pearl, so it wasn't an issue until I was alone in my head for a night. That's it. Like, in my head, I'm like, as an adult, I'm like, no, I was not abandoned. Everything will be back to normal. I just had to I will be back to normal. I can stop freaking out. No, I keep freaking out. My adult self cannot stop myself from freaking out. Like, if all of my plurality connections just go away, even for an hour or so, I think I would feel abandoned, and I'm just like, no, that's not what, I'm not abandoned. I don't know. My brain just does not compute. And yeah, I do understand that there are many causes for the formation of any issues. Like, I'm pretty sure if you can, like, there are many issues that can only be developed through very traumatic experiences. But, I mean, I didn't get any of them, to my knowledge at least. I do wonder how I became poor, though. But, yeah, I mean, I was just, I don't even remember the trauma very well. Though that's definitely after years of not being around. That's years, oh god, damn this guy, damn this guy, I don't like him. I hate his deck. I believe that it is created specifically because of Shooting Star Dragon. Specifically created, so it's not that easy to kick his ass. Oh god. Well, I mean, to be fair, considering the fact that I decided to play as you say to begin with, well, I mean, it makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how to get my abandonment issues to go away, but they are probably still there. I don't know how to get rid of them. I don't know how to get rid of the isolation either, but I think the abandonment issues and the isolation go hand in hand. Yeah, I think that's probably the... Did I seriously start another duel with this guy? I'm going to come back in a second. I'll let this guy move, but then I'll just end the video shortly after that. Because I was going to actually end after that. Alright, so, just to wrap this up properly, I don't know how to get rid of some of these issues I have, and, obviously, since I don't know where they came from, my therapist is like, question mark, question mark, question mark, I don't know. Because most people with abandonment issues probably know where they came from. I don't. So that's weird. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. I will see you guys in my next video.